Okay, welcome math class. I guess this is for 8H because this is their homework assignment tonight. It's to complete these two questions using opposite operation. So we have two questions for our homework. It says negative 3x minus 1 equals 2. So remember what we said with two-step algebraic equations. A two-step algebraic equation will have a constant, as in these two, and it will also have a coefficient, like this, or in the case of a fractional coefficient, this. Now, just as an aside, just before I get any further, this technically, if I was to write this question differently, would be negative half of x plus 1 equals 3. These are the same equation. So the coefficient is not negative 2, it's actually a negative half, which makes it very difficult to define, but that's basically what we need to know. So the first question is, I want to get rid of my constant first, so I'm going to add 1 to both sides. Now by adding 1, that basically creates a zero pair there, and it eliminates my constant. And because I did it to both sides, it maintains equality. So I have negative 3x equals 3 left. So once our constant is gone, we're just left with this negative 3 coefficient. And what you have to remember is that negative 3 coefficient is multiplying x by negative 3, right? That's what it does. It multiplies. And the opposite of multiplication, which is what that coefficient does, is division. So I'm going to divide not by positive 3, because that's the opposite number. We're not using opposite number operations. We're using opposite operations. So the opposite operation to multiplying by negative 3 is dividing by negative 3. And x would be left here. Now remember, if you're going to keep it equal, and you divided this side by negative 3, you also have to divide the other side by negative 3. And a positive 3 divided by a negative 3 is a negative 1, and therefore x equals negative 1. In our second question, we have, again, a constant of positive 1 and a coefficient of a negative half is equal to negative 3. So the first thing, as always get rid of your constant first by applying the opposite operation. I should make a note right now that this is not the opposite number. This is the opposite operation. Adding 1 and subtracting 1 are opposite operations. So therefore, we're going to cancel those out as opposite operations. What I'm left with is a negative half of x is equal to negative 4. Okay? So now we went from a two-step equation to a one-step equation. And since this says right here, divide by negative 2, the opposite operation to dividing by negative 2 is multiplying by negative 2. Not positive 2, but negative 2. Those are opposite operations. I'm left with x equals a positive 8.